Hey students, today we are going to discuss traits and heredity. Okay, what is a trait? A trait is a characteristic or feature of a living thing such as eye color, height, or leaf shape. Okay, think of a trait as a description of who you are. It's a specific feature that make you, like the color of your eyes, how tall you are, or if your hair is straight or curly. Okay, name one trait you got from your parents. This is your self assessment. You can say that I got my curly hair from my mother. Okay, what is learned or acquired trait? A learned or acquired trait is something you gain from experience or practice, not inherited. For example, riding a bike or playing an instrument. Like you can say that these are the things you were not born with. You have to work for these or get them from your environment. Like something you practice to get good at, like speaking a language, riding a bike, or playing video games. So the next one is what affects trait. Okay, this slide basically explains that how a living thing looks or grow is not just about its family or genes. It's also depend on the environment. Like think of it like this, that your genes are the instructions but the environment is the supplies. If you have instructions to build a tall tower but no bricks, the tower stays short. Okay, so traits are influenced by both genetics and the environment. Genetics: traits like eye color or flower color are inherited from parents through genes. Okay, like this is what is passed on from parents. It decides the basics, like if a flower is naturally programmed to be red or purple. Environment: conditions such as sunlight, water, and soil quality affect traits like plant height, leaf size, and flower colors. They are basically the outside factors like food, water, and sunlight. For example, you can say that a plant might have tall genes, but if it does not get enough water, it will stay small and wilted. Okay? Look at the plants in the image. Okay, the picture shows three plants that likely start with the same genes but grew up in a different neighborhood. Okay, you have to tell me what difference do you notice between these plants and why do you think these differences occurred, and are these changes inherited or caused by the environment? Okay, look at the plant one picture. This one. You know, you can see that it has plenty of sunlight and water. It looks healthier and green. Okay, whereas in picture 2, it has partial water and rich soil. It grew a flower, but maybe it looked a little bit different from the first. Okay, and look at the plant 3 picture. It likely had poor conditions, making it look yellow or dry. So the difference is you will notice changes in height, leaf color, and health. These changes happen because of the environment, not because the plants were born different. Okay? Okay, we have hypothesis. If a plant with yellow leaves produces seeds, will its offspring also have yellow leaves? Why or why not? The answer is no. The yellow leaves were caused by the environment. Okay, the plant's genes are still healthy. If you take those seeds and grow them in a sunny garden with lots of water, the new plant will grow up with healthy green leaves. Okay. Okay, here's the activity. How traits are passed from parents to offsprings. Yes, traits are passed from parents to offsprings through genetics. Why? Because traits are passed on through genes. Think of a genes as a recipe or instructions that parents give to their offsprings. Okay? So the next one is, what traits do you see in the offsprings that are similar to their parents? Yes, fur color, ear shape, leaf shape, etc. Why do you think these traits are passed on? These traits are inherited through genes, passed from the parents to the offsprings. Okay, these traits are passed on because of genes. Genes are like a set of tiny instructions, like you can say that inside every living thing. When parents have a baby, they pass copies of these instructions to the offsprings, okay, which tell the baby body how to grow and what to look alike, okay. Are these traits inherited or influenced by the environment? So the answer is the traits shown are inherited, meaning they are determined by the genetic material passed down from the parents. However, the environment can still affect other characteristics such as size or health. Like you can say that the traits shown in the picture, these pictures, okay, like fur and ear shape are inherited. This means they are decided by the genetic material from the parents before the baby is even born. However, the environment can change other things later on. For example, size. An animal might be naturally tall, but if it does not get enough food, it might stay small. And also health. Staying in a clean, safe place helps an animal grow up healthy. Okay? So, the next one is inherited and acquired traits. Okay, inherited traits are determined by genetics and passed on to offsprings. Okay, you can say that these are the traits passed on from your parents through genes. You cannot change these by practicing or through your environment, like your eye color, flower color, hair type, etc. Okay, while acquired traits are shaped by experiences or the environment and cannot be passed genetically. This distinction helps explain why we resemble our parents in some ways but develop unique characteristics based on your environment and experiences. Okay? Like you can say that these are the things that happen to you or things you learn. They are not in your genes, so you cannot pass them on to your own children. Okay, here's a table. Inherited traits versus acquired traits. Okay. Inherited traits. Traits passed from parents to offsprings, like your eye color, flower color, hair type. Whereas acquired traits, traits learned or influenced by the environment, like bike riding skills, or you can say pruned branches, calls on hands, etc. Okay? Inherited traits determined by genetics, they do not change based on life experiences, whereas acquired change developed through experiences or environmental factors, they cannot be passed genetically to offsprings.